Wyoming's best adventure starts in Wind River Country, located in western Wyoming, just beyond Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Teton Mountains. Wind River Country is the place to go to get away from the crowds, unplug, unwind, and find room to roam. Wyoming's Wind River Country, Yellowstone's unique neighbor.
Hey, we are here back in the beautiful town of Dubois in Wind River Country. I'm Charene Herrera. Helen Wilson is here as well. Helen, how are you?
I am great, and we are back in beautiful Dubois. There was some recent snow, so we've got fresh powder on the ground. We've got dogs all around us. We have Suzanne from the chamber, and we are excited.
Suzanne, this is a special event, and you guys get to be the hosts of the final stop.
Oh my gosh, we are beyond excited. And what was just mentioned, we had a winter wonderland here today. Right now, though, it's beautiful and sunny, and we have all this fresh snow for us to be able to welcome all the teens in a beautiful winter day setting like this. We are ecstatic, and we are just pumped for the weekend's activities.
Suzanne, they haven't had a stop in Dubois for a while.
20 years.
Wow.
20 years.
Good to have it back.
Oh, we are thrilled. We are thrilled. And that's something that the generation that was here 20 years ago, they're older now. Thrilled to see it back. They have been very good mentors, advisors to us on how do we start to bring this back to life. Everybody in town is thrilled, and everybody is some way participating.
A lot of accommodations in the winter in Dubois you might be surprised about, and some new eateries as well. So things are always moving here no matter what season.
It is, and especially with it being snow season. We do have a lot of new places in town, some new eateries. We also have a lot that will be opening up come springtime for the summer and fall season. So it's an ever-changing town. Little Dubois is a changer.
All right, Suzanne, let's go visit these dogs and try to pet one of these cuties, okay?
Oh my God, I've been wanting to hug on them all day.
We are here at the meet and greet for the 30th annual Pedigree Stage Stop. This is a dog sledding race, and I have the mushers all around us. We have a number of dogs. We've got the town of Dubois here. We've got the stars of the show, which are the dogs. And I have a young lady with me, Sara. Sara, how are you?
I'm good.
Tell the folks how old you are.
I am 14.
14 going on 30, folks. I could hear that she instantly knew what she was talking about. Yep. Sara, you come from a family of mushers. Both your father and your mother are mushers.
Yes. My mother started out in the sport with a very knowledged woman named Jamie, and she started my mother and her two sisters out in the sport. And she met my dad a few years later, and they had me. So.
And you want to be a musher when you get older?
I already am one in an aspect. Okay. I've run lots of races in Michigan and a few in Wisconsin, one or two in Minnesota, so none in Wyoming though.
We're glad to have you here in Wind River Country. It's a beautiful place. We were talking earlier, your dad has been practicing here, training here for a long time.
Yes, ever since my mom and dad got married 20 years ago.
Wow. So you love coming to Wind River Country?
Yes, Dubois is the favorite place to train here. It's one of my favorite places. It's always sunny. It's always nice, never really windy or snowy. It's one of the best places to train.
Tell the folks a little bit about your dogs and what they mean to you and your setup that you and your parents have here today.
The dogs, they're just a way of life here. They're part of the family.
You guys give them some great food. High protein,
yes.
They've got some raw meat in there and some hard food. You really take good care of these animals.
Oh, they get sometimes diets better than us. We get McDonald's some nights and they're getting high-grade, human-grade hamburger and performance-grade kibble that's more expensive than most dinners that we eat.
Do you have a favorite?
It's very hard to say a favorite, but I do have a favorite lead dog. His name is Coco. He is 12 years old. He's been a trusted lead dog for a very long time.
Where are you guys from?
We are from northern Minnesota by the Great Lakes. We are above Lake Superior, right by the border.
Earlier we were talking about your mom and dad both being mushers, and your mom told me this is your dad's race. He loves running the Pedigree Stage Stop. This is his baby, right?
Yes, they came here on their wedding anniversary, and ever since then he's only skipped 2 years, and every year since he's come. 19 years altogether.
19 years, wow. Sara, like I said, 14 years going on 30. I can't wait when I get to come and see you potentially when your dad decides to hang it up. Whatever that is, long time, I know. But you're running the Pedigree Stage Stop. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it's something I would like to do. It's a very nice race. It's always fun. There's challenges along the way. There's lots of bumps and bruises, but we all get through it.
Perfect. We'll be looking for the Andersons on the stage stop, on the Pedigree Stage Stop Dog Sled Race. And just a wonderful crew here, a lot of fun. It's great to hear from young people like Sara, who's 14 years old and enjoying the outdoors here in Dubois and Wind River Country in the wintertime. This is the final stage, right?
Yes, there's going to be the finishing banquet.
And then are you ready to go home and rest a little bit?
It's going to be a 2.5 day drive back home to Minnesota, but yeah, I'll be able to rest until the first few days of March. Then I'll go to my races. We'll be done for the year.
All right, be watching for Sara Anderson. Thank you so much for joining the podcast for Wyoming's Wind River Country, Yellowstone's unique neighbor. Sara, it's been a pleasure, kiddo.
Yes, thank you.
All right, I've got another musher here, I think. Are you a musher?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. Okay, these dogs are with us as well. Who do we have here?
This is Shadow, Blue, and Big Bertha.
Big Bertha and Shadow and Blue. Wow, these are beautiful dogs. What's your name?
Liam Connor.
Liam, where are you from?
Saskatchewan, Canada.
All right, our neighbors up north, eh?
Yep.
Glad to have you down here. It's good to have our friends from Canada, part of the dog sled race. This has been going on a long time. How long have you been involved with it?
This is my first year racing.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, how are you liking it so far?
It's fun. It's a change from Saskatchewan, so I like it. It's fun.
You guys have dealt with some conditions during this race, some blizzards, some high winds, some ice. How's that been?
Definitely a change from Saskatchewan and not what I expected to come down here and race.
The blizzard and the snow, but when you're mushing, I assume you want some snow, right?
Before we get there, and if it gets packed, if it's soft snow, it's harder to run through for the dogs.
Have you ever been to Dubois before?
No, this is my first time.
Are you loving it?
Yeah, awesome.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. It is.
This is Wind River Country, and so I hope that you're back for years to come. Since this is your first year, you plan on mushing a lot more here for this race?
Hopefully.
Okay, all right. And do you come from a family of dog sled enthusiasts, or how did you get into it?
Yeah, my dad always had dogs growing up. My grandma was a native, and she actually just grew up with the dogs because that was their way of travel back then. It just got passed on.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope you get to enjoy Dubois. If you haven't got some pie at the Cowboy Cafe, I don't know if you've been told about that yet, but that's the place to get your morning pie.
All right.
All right? You can tell all your friends in Canada about Dubois, or?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you for chatting with us.
Yeah, of course.
All right, I have a couple more mushers with me. I'm really excited because we have mushers from all over the country that are here for this dog sled race in Wind River Country in Dubois. How do you guys like the area?
Oh, we really liked it. It's the first time actually that we have a stage in Dubois, but I think 4 or 5 years ago we came here to train at the same place that we're gonna race, and it's a super nice place.
Yeah, when we came, I said maybe 5 times in the truck. It's the nicer place that I saw in Wyoming.
Yeah.
With the rock and it's red, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
We have to come back in summertime for sure.
Definitely come back in summer, do some fishing, do some hiking, things of that nature. All right, out of the two of you, who's the higher in the standings right now?
First overall, but
We got the champion so far.
but she won the day today.
Yeah,
So
I won yesterday, today, and now I'm second overall.
Okay, all right. It's good to see the ladies pulling
Yeah.
more than their weight on this race. That's great to see. We just chatted with a young lady. She's 14 years old and she mushes as well, young Sara. And so it's good to have you guys on the podcast. It's good to chat with you.
this day it's almost done. Yeah.
Are you guys excited?
It's gonna be bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because we like to be here, but
You just stick around Dubois for a while, okay? You come out and have some refreshments, enjoy the town a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you plan to be back next year?
Probably.
All right, well, I expect to get you back on the podcast, okay?
Good.
All right. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
folks, we are here for the Pedigree Dogsled Race in beautiful Dubois, Wyoming. I'm Charene Herrera. Helen Wilson is joining, and Dan Carter, who is the race director. We are here for Wyoming's Wind River Country, Yellowstone's unique neighbor, one of the gems of the great state of Wyoming. Helen, it is so fantastic being here for the Dogsled Race and inviting folks to come see this year after year.
It is, and it is another beautiful winter day in Dubois. We are heading up Togety Pass over by the Tyhack Memorial Site. The dogs are excited, the participants are excited, and we're ready for a fun day.
Dan, being the race director, what does this mean to you to have the final stage back in Dubois? It's been about 20 years since it's been here.
No, it's great to me. I used to be a competitor in this event, and so I raced out of Dubois many times and raced up here on Togety and Union Pass, and it's such a gorgeous area, right? And the community of Dubois has been so welcoming. We're ecstatic to be here. Looking forward to having our final banquet at the Military Museum.
You have mushers from Canada, all over the country. What is it like to organize something of this caliber with people who have 10, 20 dogs traveling thousands of miles?
It's a year-round effort. We've already started planning for next year's race at this point. And so there's a core group of organizers that are working on the race year-round. And of course, as we get closer to race time, it ramps up and it becomes more of a full-time job. But it's a huge effort, and there's so many people involved, and there's so much coordination that needs to be done. But it's all worth it, and it climaxes right here in Dubois.
How did they pick this area for the Pedigree Dogsled Race? Do you know how this history kind of came about?
Sure. Well, the history of the race was back in 1996. Jane Ottman, who was a public health nurse, was tasked with increasing childhood immunization rates in Wyoming. And she was familiar with the Iditarod Trail and the Serum Run in 1925, where they transported diphtheria serum to Nome, Alaska via dog team. And she thought that maybe that concept could translate here in Wyoming. So she approached Frank Teasley, who's an accomplished musher in the Jackson Hole area, with the idea of a sled dog race to promote childhood immunization. And so that's how the race was born. And when Frank started planning the race, he picked a time of year that historically has peak snowfall. And he worked with the Forest Service and outfitters and other people familiar with the trail systems here in western Wyoming, including Wyoming State Trails, to come up with a race route that would fit this stage format.
Through the Wild West of Wyoming it is.
And it is wild.
Dan, do you miss mushing?
I do. I kind of get the fever every year, but being the race director helps keep me connected, keeps me around the people and the dogs and everybody involved. I guess I'm doing okay.
And you still get to come back to beautiful Dubois, Wyoming.
Oh, I love it. You know, it's in my blood. I'm just happy to be here. And man, what a gorgeous morning it's been today.
Dan, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. I can't wait to follow this morning as we kick off the final leg. I know we have one Wyoming musher in it, but I'm really pulling for all of them, so it's too hard to pick. I love all the dogs. They're the stars of the show. It's just good to be here and good to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I have been dying to get our only Wyoming musher on the podcast, and lo and behold, I found her. I actually ran into her father, who's from North Carolina.
Yeah.
I heard his accent, and I said, "You're not from around here." He said, "I'm not, but my daughter is, and she's racing for Wyoming." Alix, it's so good to have you on the podcast. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited. We're almost to the finish line, and dogs have been doing great, and it's just a fun thing to be out there doing.
It's fun, too, to have a Wyoming musher since this is in Wyoming, the whole entire race. We get folks from Canada and all over the country, so it's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah, it's good to represent Wyoming and get more of the locals involved in the race and have more people come out and see us run.
We have your sister with us, and she is the PT not only for you, but the dogs, Jessie?
Yeah, I don't know about for me. She's definitely been working the dogs for me.
Oh my gosh, Jessie, I love that. Having a PT for the dogs?
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
awesome.
Cool job.
Yeah, it's the best.
You got to take care of them,
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure they're good for the trail?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Every day while she's out on the trail, I'm working on dogs. Usually the ones that ran that night or that day, I'll work on all of them, try to put hands on all of them and see how they're feeling so we can make decisions about the next day and the days after that. So yeah.
She's a magician. She's a really super important part of our team. I don't know how to feel that kind of stuff. Jess and I are good at working on feet, but Jessie is a magician with the PT and the massaging of the dogs, and it just makes them feel better, gets their juices rolling where they need to be rolling. It's pretty amazing to see it happen.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much goes into this until you come down.
Yeah.
So you invite folks to come down and watch these races and encourage folks to be involved with dog sledding.
For sure, yeah. And we also like to explain our foot care and our PT work and all of that, because I think people think we just say, all right, let's go, and then put them in the box and go to the next place. And our schedule's pretty tight on this race. We have to be at meet and greets and stuff like that, which we want people to know about, but we look like we're zombies because we've been working on dogs for half the night. It's a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
These are your family. These are your livelihood.
That's
These are your best friends.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see you race, sister friend.
Yeah, we better get
I'll
ready
be
to do it.
Yeah. All right, Jessie, go do some massaging, okay?
Thanks for having us on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we are warming up cozy by the fire in the Double Bar J Ranch Lodge. Helen Wilson with the Wind River Visitors Council. This is an amazing place to stay, to visit, and to spend some time, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful here. We're in a wooden lodge. We've got snow surrounding us. We've got the dogs outside ready to take people on trips, and we are looking forward to a really fun day. The race has started.
Yep.
It was neat seeing how excited the dogs were at the very beginning of the race, and now we're here with the community members, and we actually are lucky enough to have one of the Wind River Visitors Council board members, Dave Furman, with us.
Hi.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good.
Good to have you on the podcast. Liz is joining us as well. You two live here in Wind River country in Dubois. What does it mean to have the dog sled race have a stop back in Dubois again?
I think it's really cool. The dogs outside are lined up now, and they're all barking. They're all excited, and I just think it's really neat. It's a neat festive time.
And it's beautiful up here. It's paradise. We live in paradise. So. and it's just so fun. And winter is, nobody hardly comes here in the winter, except for snowmobilers usually. But it's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful here in the winter too. Like it's, every time of year here is so beautiful. Yep. So yeah, it's super fun.
I feel like we have two worlds meeting. We're in this very historic type lodge. Right. It has some history to it, the dog sleds, which was a mode of transportation for people back in the day. And then you have the new age of the snowmobilers and the folks that are running on those. Yeah. And they actually use snowmobiles to be able to bring a lot of their equipment down and things of that nature. So we have two worlds meeting here at the Double Bar J.
Yeah, it's great. And the snowmobilers called and said, where should we go so we're not in the way? Like they were very polite and didn't want to be in the way. But they also went over the track a bunch so that the lead dog didn't have to post hole so much into the snow, because we got quite a bit of snow yesterday. So I thought that was so nice of them to come and just make a path for the dogs and everything. So
can folks stay here at the Double Bar J?
Yeah, I think so.
And our Black Bear Motel is closed in the winter. So it's fun to be up here in the winter watching what it's like.
Now, I forgot you guys own that place, and I have heard through the grapevine and many rumors of these s'mores events. Beautiful Dubois, the mountains, the pine, and then s'mores. Can't beat that.
Because we're right on the river.
The river.
Yeah, so you just sit down there, the fire crackles low, the water bubbles by. It's like being a bartender. People will tell you everything. It's so great.
Every night, and you go down there and you hear people's stories. They're from all over the world. They come here
fun.
In the summer especially. And you hear their stories, where they're from, and it's so interesting.
And I'm always amazed at people that have grown up in America that never had a s'more before.
That's right.
What? Where did you grow up? Like,
how quick do you guys usually book up at the Black Bear for the summertime?
Liz is the main manager of the Black Bear.
So by the end of January, we have 100 for the summer. This year, on January 2nd, I had 100. On February 2nd, I had 200. I have almost 300 now. And because it's like everyone feels like they can travel now, I don't know why, but all of a sudden everyone's like making their reservations. And I think this summer's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun.
And the 4th of July is on a Friday. So
the 4th of July is
coming to stay.
Oh, this is small town Americana. Dubois on the 4th of July is we have this killer parade. And then we have
we have the military museum. So you get all of
He puts
all the
22
tanks.
military vehicles in our parade.
I mean, Sherman tanks driving down the road is really cool.
They have these rubber things so they don't trash the.
If we can work that out for the dog sled race to groom the trails, that would be nice.
Yeah, the 4th of July, this is the place to be on the 4th of July. It's my favorite day of the year. It's so fun.
Helen, it really seems like a place to be all year. We've been here in the winter, the fall, summer.
I would agree with that. It is definitely a 4-season vacation.
It is.
It's just amazing here. And each season is very special. And I know that there's places around the world that have one long season. We really do have 4 seasons here. And I sometimes get asked what my favorite season is in Wind River Country. And I would say it's the season that's just starting, because you have this You have winter, and then just when you're starting to feel like winter should be over, then it's spring, and then it's summer, and then it's fall, and it really is paradise here. And each of our communities is very different. I know we've been covering Dubois a lot lately because there's a lot of activities going on here, but one of the things that makes our area special is the diversity of each of our towns and our cities and the Wind River Indian Reservation. And yesterday we were in Lander, and now we're in Dubois, and it's just so different in both places. And I'm looking out the window seeing some very excited dogs. Yeah. And we are just so lucky to live here, and we want to welcome people who live here to come and try these activities, as well as people coming from outside of the area.
Dave, Liz, it's been a pleasure having
you so much
on the show. I
Good
hope
to
to
be
come
here.
see you this summer.
Oh, you should come.
Yep.
Make some s'mores.
It's been a pleasure having you both on. Helen, I think we need to go get on a dog sled here.
I think we do.
Oh.
Okay, guys, you ready?
We're ready, yes.
All right, we are going to be off here mushing. Helen, are you excited?
I am excited. This is really great. It's so pretty out here.
Kristen, we are ready to...
All right, y'all, let's hit it. Ready? Up, 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 up. Yeah, you got it. Good dogs.
How long have you been doing this?
This is my 3rd winter out here, and then my 4th season with these dogs. They spend the summer up in Juneau, Alaska. So my 1st season, I worked in Juneau for the summer, and now I'm doing winters. Yeah, hard to beat out here. It's beautiful.
So gorgeous.
Yeah.
So peaceful.
I know. They're nice and quiet when they're running.
Did you ever definitely fall asleep?
Totally. I've totally had people conk out on me, especially the kiddos. Because out where we're running, we're doing either a 6-mile run that lasts about an hour or a 10-mile run that lasts about 2 hours. So yeah, on the back half of that 10 miles, some people will just be too tucked in there and get cozy and fall asleep.
You just had 2 young kids, so this is definitely family friendly.
Oh, totally. The kiddos did great. Very brave.
How fast did these dogs run? Like, how fast are we traveling right now?
So we're doing long distance style mushing. So for these guys, we want to keep them no faster than about 10 to 12 miles per hour.
Okay.
So like today in a field like this that's really snowed out, that's not hard to do. But if we're on like a really fast icy trail that's really ripping pretty quick, I have brakes back here to slow them down if they get too fast. So you're not necessarily going crazy fast, but 10 to 12 miles per hour, that's like their sustainable pace for a longer run. So that's the style that we train our dogs. You guys...
Yeah, we were recording a podcast on a dog sled right now.
Yeah,
this is fun.
And are the dogs always in the same order on the trail?
No, not necessarily. It's definitely position based. So like way up in front today, we have our leaders of the team. We got Teapot and Prince up there. Those are my smarty pants. Those are the dogs that can understand when I give them a direction. G means go right, haw means go left for these guys.
Okay.
So they're the ones that will steer us correctly. The way it works is you got leaders up front, and then right behind your leaders in second position, you have what's called your swing dogs, which for us is like our backup leaders, our spare tires. Even your very best, most reliable leads can have off days sometimes. These guys, they have moods just like we do, these doggos. If I get out here on a run and I'm having issues with one of my leaders, I can go up there and make a really quick switch, kind of pull a leader back and put a swing dog forward mid-run. So that's their job in second position. And then we have our middle 4 rows. Those are called our team dogs. Those are your muscle, maybe not your brains. Still important. And then all the way in the back here, we have what's called our wheel dogs. These guys, they will help steer your sled around tight turns. And they're also pulling the most weight. So you want them to be your dogs that you know are not going to slack off midway through the run. Your best pullers, most enthusiastic doggos back here. Yeah, it's like position-based. They all have a role on the team. Each one is just as important as the other. So you might not run them in their same exact spot every single time,
what a unique experience
Totally.
to provide. We're in the Wind River, at the base of the Wind River Mountains. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, you guys, honestly, such a pretty day.
Can you imagine, Kristen, this was the mode of transport?
Oh my gosh.
How cool.
We're literally doing maybe 1.5 miles in a field today. Can you imagine doing like 100 miles?
Helen, are you loving it?
I am loving it. This is great. It's so pretty.
Nice. Yeah, guys, we're about to pull back in here. Thank you so much for riding with me.
Thank you so much for joining the show, too. And
Totally.
giving us some insight.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Wyoming's Wind River Country, Yellowstone's unique neighbor. Visit us at windriver.org and follow Wyoming's Wind River Country on Facebook and Instagram. This podcast has been brought to you by the Wind River Visitors Council.